Good morning, America, slammed with snow. The Northeast waking up to its biggest snowfall of the season. States of emergency declared in New York and New Jersey. Thousands of flights delayed or canceled on one of the busiest travel weekends of the year.
This is wild. This is no Christmas miracle.
Plus, in the West, up to 5 feet of snow in the Sierras, while that atmospheric river causes massive mudslides. Homes and cars buried. Our weather team with what's next to come.
Breaking overnight, massive air attack. Russia targeting Kyiv, the biggest strike in months, ahead of Sunday's high-stakes talks between President Trump and Ukraine's leader. On the revised 20-point peace plan, Zelensky's new concessions, but will Putin go for it?
Nigeria airstrikes. The U.S. promising more attacks aimed at alleged ISIS gunmen in the African nation, where President Trump says Christians are being targeted. The new details on the Christmas Day missile launch and why the president picked December 25th to do it.
Facing a judge, Ashley Buzzard, the mother accused of shooting her 9-year-old daughter to death while on a road trip, entering a not guilty plea to murder charges.
After Christmas sales, best ways to spend those holiday gift cards, the big bargains on loads of items, GMA tracking down the best deals, plus what to know about gift returns and avoiding those heavy restocking fees.
And College Bowls preview. The top teams going head-to-head in the playoff quarterfinals.
3rd down and 8.
ESPN's Sam Acho looks at the upcoming matchups and the teams that could have an edge.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Saturday. Good morning, America.
And good morning, America. So great to have you with us. Hope you had an excellent holiday. Good to be back with
You guys had a good one?
Absolutely.
You guys act like we weren't together like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
We worked all week.
It's going to be, but 2 days is a long time to be apart. We're reunited once again, and we're also watching the NFL. Football also on our plates this morning. We're in the second to the last weekend of the regular season. Some key players in the spotlight due to injuries. We'll have more on that ahead.
Plus, those gifts that missed the mark this morning. We have some timely advice on dealing with the return process and dealing with restocking fees. You know I know all about those.
I was going to say, if you need to know about returns, this is your man. But we do begin this morning with those coast-to-coast storms and what they could mean for the holiday flight or drive home. We have team coverage this morning. ABC's Morgan Norwood starts us off with some intense winter weather in a snowy New York City. Good morning, Morgan.
Janae, good morning, and you can see it is still coming down, the wind blowing this snow around, and see right behind me here, several inches of snow already on the ground here. And you've also got that sleet mixed in, which makes it especially dangerous. Looks soft on the outside, but it freezes over, and that's what makes conditions especially treacherous, which is why officials say simply stay home. Overnight, that powerful winter storm lashing the Northeast with layers of heavy snow and ice. In western New York, snow stacking up on roads, blinding snow falling on Interstate 684 through Bedford, driving treacherous. And on Long Island, this heavy snow blanketing northern Nassau County. Philadelphia highways turning to slush. Several crashes reported as conditions worsen. And in New Jersey, icicles forming beneath cars. Both New Jersey and New York declaring states of emergency. The state of New York unleashing an army of more than 1,600 plow and salt trucks, now racing to clear snow-covered streets. In the Midwest, drenching rain in Detroit. And in Saginaw County, Michigan, icy conditions forcing the Zilwaukee Bridge to shut down. Watch as plows carefully deglaze the road after multiple crashes. This truck stuck for 5 hours. Out west, a very different threat. In the past week, an atmospheric river dumping relentless rain across Southern California, washing away roads and stranding drivers. LA County Fire says more than 100 people were pulled from flooded vehicles on Christmas Day alone. In north of Los Angeles and Wrightwood, mudslides swallowing cars and pressing against homes. Families sifting through mud and debris, many left without power and turning to local hardware stores for generators, firewood, and supplies.
Anything weather related, that's what they're coming in for, and we're here to provide that for them today.
And in nearby Lytle Creek, entire neighborhoods cut off, a bridge buckling under the force of raging floodwaters. In the Sierras, up to 5 feet of snow in the mountains. And in Nevada, the Mount Rose Highway reopening after crews worked around the clock to clear snow and ice from the road.
And so far, power outages have been limited here in the Northeast, so that is the good news. We are tracking some power outages over in the Midwest, especially in Michigan, at least 30,000 there, with crews racing to get the lights back on. But again, with the snow still falling, the freezing temperatures, these slippery conditions could stick around for days to come.
Yeah, the cleanup just getting started. Morgan, thanks so much. Now to the holiday travel chaos. Already this weekend, thousands of flights canceled or delayed. ABC's Olivia Rubin joins us now from LaGuardia Airport in New York. Olivia, good morning.
Whit, good morning. The snow is still coming down outside and crews here are working to clean it, but already over 600 flights canceled nationwide so far, and that's just today.
This morning, severe weather snarling the holiday travel rush. Airports packed and highways jammed from coast to coast.
This is wild. This is no Christmas miracle.
It comes as tens of millions are heading home from Christmas, but already over 2,000 cancellations Friday and Saturday. Delta and JetBlue are seeing the biggest impacts. It all comes right in the middle of the holiday travel rush, when TSA expects to screen nearly 45 million people this holiday period. Nationwide, airports are expected to see major delays. And airlines like United anticipating today will be their busiest day of all, with more than 500,000 expected passengers. And on the roads, snow, sleet, and icy conditions. Road crews out in force in New York City as the flakes pile up there. If you're hitting the road today, experts say the best time to travel is before 11 a.m. And the worst, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. They say don't wait and drive safe.
And guys, here at LaGuardia, in this specific terminal so far, every single departing flight listed red on the board, canceled, and some of the staff here bracing for more. Gio.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough weekend for those flying. Olivia, thank you so much. Now for the latest on the storm forecast, let's bring in meteorologist Leslie Lopez from our Los Angeles station KABC. You are here with us. Leslie, it is cold here and wet on the west and you're home.
You know, a lot of people are waking up to snowfall. So let's take a look at some of the totals. I mean, we are talking about 11.5 inches, almost a foot over in Hartwick, New York, and then getting down into New York City. These are updated totals, 4.25 inches of new snowfall. So if you're looking out the window, that is what you're seeing, and that's still coming down. So we're going to add to the totals here. We're moving you through the forecast, and I do want to show you that there is still going to be some snow out towards the Rockies, but most of the country is dry. And then eventually we are talking about some rain, an icy mix again with some snow over into the Midwest, out towards the Great Lakes, up to Minneapolis. This is going to be also rain to talk about from anywhere from Texas all the way up towards the plains and then out towards the Northeast. This continues all the way through tomorrow, and we're also looking at an icy mix. So you got to be really careful if you are traveling along some of these highways now. We're going to see some very cold temperatures through the Northeast. So again, if you are commuting along, you want to slow it down. We're already seeing some troubles out there. All right, Janae, back over your way.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Turning overseas now, where Russia launched a large-scale overnight attack ahead of Sunday's crucial meeting set to take place between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky, looking to end the war once and for all. ABC's Marcus Moore is in London with the latest. Good morning, Marcus.
Janae, good morning. Another sleepless night for people in Ukraine, with Russia launching a major attack overnight. And this is the moment a building is hit in Kyiv. Ukrainian officials say 500 drones and 40 missiles targeted energy infrastructure and residential buildings. We know this morning that 2 people have been killed, and in Kyiv alone, more than 30 people injured. It comes ahead of what could very well be a key moment in the effort to end the war in Ukraine. President Zelensky is set to meet with President Trump tomorrow afternoon in Florida. President Zelensky striking a positive tone, saying the agreement is 90% complete. But in an interview with Politico, President Trump said, quote, Zelensky doesn't have anything until I approve it. And 2 important elements to pay close attention to. What kind of security guarantees are they able to establish, and how will occupied land be handled? Zelensky is offering up the idea of a demilitarized buffer zone in the Donbas region, which is in the eastern part of the country. But previously, Russia has indicated that it wants Ukraine to cede all of that territory, even land that Russia doesn't control. So these leaders will be looking at this revised 20-point plan, which Russia has given no indication that it will acquiesce on any of these points, and the timing is notable. This war is approaching its 5th year. Now, are we any closer to a resolution? Well, some in the region are hoping so, but as we saw overnight, this battle is raging.
Yep, the world watching closely. Marcus Moore, we appreciate it. Could there be more military strikes ahead after the U.S. launched attacks against what officials say are ISIS terrorists in Nigeria targeting Christians? ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is following the developments from near Mar-a-Lago with more. Selena, good morning.
And Whit, good morning to you. So we're learning new details about those U.S. strikes on ISIS targets in Nigeria on Christmas Day. A U.S. official tells us that more than a dozen missiles were launched at those targets. The president says the group has been targeting Christians in Nigeria, but experts tell us that the reality on the ground is far more complex.
This morning, new details emerging about the U.S. strikes in Nigeria on Christmas. The Pentagon releasing this video, a U.S. warship firing a Tomahawk cruise missile from the Gulf of Guinea. A U.S. official telling ABC News more than a dozen missiles were launched. In a village targeted by the strikes in northwest Nigeria, residents searched through the rubble of their homes, now leveled after the strikes. The next day, locals gathering as police sweep the site of a missile strike.
I quickly rushed this morning to come and see the level of damage that this has given to the community. Glory be to God, there was no loss of life and no much damage to the properties.
President Trump saying he ordered the strikes against terrorists who, quote, have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians. The president saying he delayed the strikes for symbolic reasons, telling Politico, quote, they were going to do it earlier, and I said, nope, let's give a Christmas present. The Pentagon says multiple ISIS terrorists were killed. U.S. and Nigerian officials confirming they worked together on the operation. Analysts tell ABC News the reality on the ground in Africa's most populous country, home to millions of Christians and Muslims, is complex.
Christians are not the sole target of ISIS in Nigeria. They have been indiscriminate in their violence against Christians, Muslims, civilian, government, it doesn't matter.
Nigeria's government responding to the strikes overnight, saying terrorist violence in any form, whether directed at Christians, Muslims, or other communities, remains an affront to Nigeria's values and to international peace and security.
The U.S. is thanking the Nigerian government for their cooperation, and these strikes on Christmas Day are the second in just this past week. Remember, last Friday, the U.S. launched dozens of airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria. That was in response to a deadly attack that killed 3 Americans. Gio.
And the world is watching this. Selena Wang, thank you so much. And breaking overnight, gunfire erupts inside a sheriff's office in northern Idaho. Authorities say that a man first opened fire on a car, injuring 2 people, then stormed the Shoshone County Sheriff's Office and shot inside. A deputy suffered a minor injury. Multiple agencies rushed to the scene, and officials say the gunman was killed after exchanging fire with officers. Investigators are still working to determine a motive. Janae?
All right, Gio, now to the murder of 9-year-old Melody Buzzard. We've been telling you about this story since the California girl went missing. Her body was found earlier this month in Utah. Her mom now facing a judge in court. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is in Los Angeles with the latest on this heartbreaking story. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Janae, good morning. That's right. Ashley Buzzard appearing in a Santa Barbara courtroom Friday. She pled not guilty to murdering her 9-year-old daughter, Melody. Authorities believe Melody was killed while on a road trip with her in October. They think this surveillance video is the last time she was seen alive. It's from a rental car facility near the Colorado-Utah border. Officials say they both wore wigs, alleging Buzzard changed the license plates, and they allege she used a 9mm firearm to kill Melody. Authorities found Melody's body earlier this month in Utah with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. A school administrator reporting her missing back in October. Detectives said Buzzard was uncooperative. She will be in court again January 7th. She's facing life without parole. Whit?
Jacqueline Lee for us, thank you. Now to the stabbing death of a former child actress in The Lion King on Broadway. Prosecutors in New Jersey say Amani Diaz-Smith died after being stabbed in her home on Sunday. She appeared in the stage show for about a year as young Nala starting in 2011. Authorities say they have a suspect in custody facing first-degree murder and other charges.
And flu season is hitting hard in some areas. New York State reports that the most cases in 1 week since it started reporting numbers in 2004. The state's health department says more than 71,000 cases were reported for the 7 days ending December 20th. The CDC finding a new variant to be linked to the bulk of cases sent for lab testing. It's called subclade K. The mutations in this new variant results in a mismatch with this season's flu vaccine. But experts say a flu shot will still help reduce the risk of severe illness. The CDC won't report new nationwide numbers until next week.
Wow,
Janae?
really startling. All right, well, this morning, those post-holiday sales, they are in full swing. Retailers advertising major savings. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is here with where to find some great deals. Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Janae, especially if you're like me and you got a gift card from some family member.
Yeah.
I got a couple of them. All right, so you're going to want to spend it and put it to good use now because there are so many deals to be had. Walmart has end-of-year clearance sales right now with products less than $5, and they've got women's shoes going for as little as $12. Parents, we know money can be tight around the holidays, so if you want to get a little something for your kids, Staples has Silly Putty going for just $1.19. Target is offering 50% off many items, and let's talk next year. This, by the way, is an excellent time to buy holiday items that didn't sell, like Halloween and Christmas decorations. Yes, Halloween and Christmas decorations.
Well, that's
a
useful.
pumpkin tablecloth. This pumpkin tablecloth that we're going to put in some, Gio, maybe in your living room here, 86 cents right now at Walmart. Along with Walmart, Target is also running deep discounts in those departments. Also, with all the snow, a Ralph Lauren blanket at Macy's is going for $28. The average gift card given in the U.S. is about $47, according to Capital One, so that's plenty to get some of these things and more, guys.
The pumpkin table.
Hey, 86 cents. That's a deal.
Yeah,
folks.
that sure is. Okay, so what about a bigger splurge? My favorite topic, tech.
Tech. Everybody thinks about Cyber Monday, of course, and Black Friday. Those are great go-to days for tech, but now might be just as solid to find deals. Best Buy has a 75-inch Samsung TV for $200 off at $449. Target is slashing $100 off Series 11 Apple Watches, and Amazon has a 32-inch Insignia Fire TV going for just $79.99.
Okay, I like those deals. All right, you mentioned gift cards, right? What do we keep in mind for those?
Yeah, so expiration dates is at the top of the list. You got to know when the card might not be good anymore, but for all my fellow shopping procrastinators out there, read the fine print on the card because some charge fees for not using the funds by a certain date. And then, of course, be aware of scams. Gift cards are almost as good as cash, so they're often a target for fraudsters. Best way to protect yourself against fraud, or if your card is lost or stolen, register it as soon as you can. If you can.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There you go. Andrew, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That pumpkin tablecloth.
We'll put it right here.
It's going to end up at Gio's place in, 24 hours.
To the NFL now, and some key players with injury question marks as the regular season wraps up. ABC's Ika Chachi is here with the details. Good morning, Ika.
Good morning, Janae. That's right. The NFL rolls into Week 17 with some major injury and retirement buzz shaping the playoff picture. Now, first in Green Bay, the Packers, they're going to have to make a push without quarterback Jordan Love, who's been ruled out after entering concussion protocol. Backup Malik Willis, he's expected to start in his place. Over in Buffalo, it's the opposite. Josh Allen, he's good to go against the Eagles after dealing with a foot issue. But the Bills need every bit of Allen's mobility and arm talent in what could be a heavyweight late-season showdown. Now, take I-90 East all the way to Foxborough, and the Patriots might get a boost in the backfield. Running back Travion Henderson, still in concussion protocol, but progressing through the necessary steps, is trending toward being available against the Jets in that early window. They're not going to need him. The Jets are going to lose that game, let's be honest. And in Kansas City, that's my team. All eyes on Travis Kelce and whether we're seeing the last of his playing days. Now, in an interview, Kelce said he feels motivated about his future, but that he, quote, has to make the right decision for me.
Of course, by me, he means me and Taylor and his family, right? And so, Ike, while all that plays out in the NFL, a seismic move in college football?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Utah, they got a new person leading the team. Kyle Whittingham has agreed to a 5-year deal to become Michigan's next head coach. Now, a contract averaging about $8 million per year. Whittingham went 177-88 in 21 seasons at Utah, including a perfect 13-0 season in 2008. Now, as you know, Michigan fired former head coach Sharon Moore earlier this month after credible evidence emerged he'd engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, guys. So, new head at Michigan. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Change is coming.
All right, Ike, thank you so much. And still ahead here on GMA, the stage is set for next week's quarterfinal showdowns. Who's got the edge and which college powerhouse could fall? ESPN's Sam Acho is here to break down the matchups.
And the gifts have been opened, but now the returns begin. The advice on avoiding those hefty restocking fees.
And in our second hour, a man has found a remarkable way to bring people together. You don't want to miss this. All coming up ahead here on GMA.
And welcome back to GMA. Taking a look outside New York City. Very snowy and chilly out there. This half hour looking ahead to the quarterfinals and the college football playoff and the bowl games on tap. Joining us now is ESPN football analyst and former NFL player Sam Acho. Sam, good morning to you. It's great to have you. Let's jump right in here because we want to start with the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State coming in with a lot of hype, taking on Miami. What can we expect?
Well, Miami has one of the best defenses in all of college football. They won their last matchup in the first round of the playoffs 10-3. They forced 3 turnovers, and they were able to dominate on the defensive side of the ball. But Ohio State has a player who was a Heisman finalist in their quarterback, Julian Sayin, and another Heisman, top 10 player in wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith. And so what you can expect is a high-flying, high-powered offense by Ohio State that's going to try to be slowed down by a Miami defense that has 2 players, one by the name of Ruben Bain. He's an edge rusher, 6'3", about 275, and then Akeem Mesidor, another edge rusher, 2 guys who are probably going to be in the NFL that are going to try and get to the quarterback of Ohio State. So expect a lot of high-flying plays, but man, a Miami defense is going to try and slow all of that down.
And Sam, turning to the Orange Bowl, Oregon and Texas Tech, they both love to score. So are we in for a fireworks show?
Maybe not, because they both love to score, but Texas Tech is one of the best defenses in all of college football. Texas Tech has the #2 rushing defense. I got a chance to announce their last regular season game, so I met with their head coach, Joey McGuire. I met with their defensive stud, Jacob Rodriguez. But here's what you need to expect, and names to keep an eye out on. David Bailey, number 31, an outside linebacker edge rusher, and Romello Height, another edge rusher. Both those guys transferred into Texas Tech, and they have been a terror for offenses. And so those 2 players could make it hard for Oregon, which Oregon, though they're one of the best teams in college football, one of their weaknesses is protecting the quarterback, Dante Moore. And so expect when Oregon's on offense, Dante Moore to be running, trying to protect himself.
All right, now to the Rose Bowl. Indiana's been the Cinderella story here, but can they keep the magic going against Alabama?
I think they can. Indiana really has no weaknesses that you can really look for. Offensively, Fernando Mendoza is a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. They also have a top 11 running offense if Mendoza isn't doing great. Defensively, Indiana is one of the best defenses as well. The only issue for Indiana is they've been off for nearly 1 month, almost 30 days without playing a game because they had that first round bye. And the second issue is that Alabama is playing with a ton of confidence. Quarterback Ty Simpson is likely going to be a first round pick this year for Alabama. And if he gets hot, he's really hot. Alabama's getting healthier at the offensive line, getting healthier at running back, and at tight end. Those people can help protect and with the offensive line. And so Alabama, when they get streaky, could be a problem for Indiana, though Indiana is the #1 team in the nation.
Okay. All right. Lastly, let's talk about the Sugar Bowl here. Georgia versus Ole Miss. If you had to pick one X factor in this for the game, what would it be?
I'll pick Ole Miss's new coach, Pete Golding. Let's remember that Lane Kiffin, who was the head coach of Ole Miss, he left to go to LSU. He wanted to continue to coach the team, but he couldn't. And so Pete Golding is a defensive coordinator, now returned into the head coach, and they had an outstanding game in their last game against Tulane. I was on the radio call for that game. I saw these teams in person. That Ole Miss defense, and Pete Golding is the head coach, but led by a guy named Princewell Unmamielen. He's an edge rusher who can get after the quarterback. Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss. He's also a transfer from a D2 school. That could be the difference. I understand Georgia won this game in the regular season, but Ole Miss, they were leading in the game. They feel like they gave the game away in the fourth quarter, and they are ready for revenge.
Ready for revenge. Okay, we'll be watching, Sam. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Of course, you can catch all these quarterfinal bowl games on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, all on ESPN.
Now on GMA, and while the gift giving may be over, the returns rush, it is just beginning. And Becky Worley shows us what you need to know before heading back to the store and how to make the process painless. Take a look.
Are you keeping your presents or are you boxing them up and returning them?
If you're returning, the National Retail Federation says nearly 3/4 of all stores are now charging some sort of return fee. It's sometimes called a restocking fee, and this is money you don't get back when you buy something online and then return it. For Marshalls and TJ Maxx, it's now $11.99 per mailed package. So when you make a return, that amount will be taken out of your total refund. Macy's charges $10. JCPenney and J.Crew have fees of about $8 to mail back packages.
People may notice that they're seeing more return fees lately. And it's not retailers being sneaky, it's retailers trying to fix a system that got a little bit out of balance.
But there are some ways to avoid being charged.
At Macy's, for example, if you join their loyalty program, there's no return fee. And you can avoid all of the fees if you return in store.
And the timing of your return matters.
Holiday discounting started earlier than ever with big sales in October, so your gift could have been purchased way back before Halloween. Now, some stores have extended their return windows until January or so, but the clock is ticking.
This year, you have a new way to initiate a return online. You can use AI, the chatbots or agents that live down in the bottom right-hand corner of almost every retail website these days.
You can always go to the order section of your account, but the little bots that are down in the right-hand corner of many retail websites are more powerful than ever. And if you're signed into your account, they can often process a return way faster. For Good Morning America, Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
Our thanks to Becky. And you want to make sure when you're returning things that you don't get banned, because that's possible,
You know,
right?
why do you always bring... Yes, I was banned on Amazon at one point.
He was the only person that's ever happened
Just make
to.
sure there's a return
Be
policy,
mindful.
because then you should use it. It's
You
there
should
to
use
be
it
used.
with limitations. Thank you to Becky and Gio. Now, with a sneak peek at our primetime special, The Year, a look at everything we just couldn't get enough of in 2025. From the blockbuster movies that packed theaters and the trends that took over our lives, Deborah Roberts takes us through the year's biggest obsessions.
The vibe in 2025 at an all-time high. We witnessed groundbreaking wins.
Oh my God!
Moonbeam, up, 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 and debated Labubu or Lafufu. Really, it's all 6'7". Don't worry, we don't get it either.
I feel like my ears to the streets. Don't have a clue.
I thought it was 7, 8, 9.
The only 6'7" most of us know was star 67.
Dictionary.com's word of the year, 6'7". You read the definition, you still have no idea what it means.
Let's leave 6'7" in 2'5", please.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
The kickoff to this year's music obsessions left not one single crumb.
My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke, put little baby in the, be humble, sit down.
What I love about Kendrick Lamar is that he is not afraid to bring it. He brought everything from LA culture, Compton culture. He brought out ex-girlfriends of his enemy.
And he brought the most viewers for any Super Bowl halftime show ever, with more than 133 million tuning in.
I loved Kendrick's jeans. What were those Celine bell-bottom flared jeans? I loved it.
Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Turn this.
And the Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter.
Beyonce finally winning a Grammy for Album of the Year was about time.
And I hope we just keep pushing forward, opening doors. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All year long, musical magic was in the air, literally, for Benson Boone.
Ice cream, taking off your blue jeans, dancing at the movies, 'cause it feels so mystical, magical.
To see him go from sitting at the piano at American Idol.
Does this sound good to you guys?
To having one of the biggest tours in the world and being one of the best singers in the world. It's pretty special.
I think you come for the music and you stay for the mustache.
In 2025, the Pop Factory was in overdrive with new music from Tate to Taylor, Sabrina, Chapel, Jenny, and the ever iconic Lady Gaga. And all around the world, so many going wild for this year's most surprise obsession. Time Magazine's 2025 Breakthrough of the Year, K-pop Demon Hunters.
For the fans! I go into the convenience store and see the characters on a Ramyeon cup, or two guys running in the park would be blasting Huntrix.
I could sing the whole album to you. Golden and Soda Pop are two of my favorite songs.
Every subsequent success of being the #1 Halloween costumes, getting 5 Grammy nominations, 2 Critics' Choice Awards, 3 Golden Globe nominations, like every single thing has just gotten crazier.
Hot tricks don't miss how it's done, done, done.
And Robin anchors the 15th annual primetime special of the year. You can see it on Monday, December 29th at 8 Eastern right here on ABC.
Yep. And while we're looking back, by the way, Will Gans is here. He's going to test our knowledge of some of the big moments in 2025. A bit of a quiz, right?
Exactly. And if you were paying attention to that, you might have gotten some hints, okay? So we're going to go in chronological order from the year. All right, let's start in February. Which of Drake's rumored exes made an appearance?
I wasn't even going to go there.
Halftime show, that's correct. Serena Williams. Now into March. After an abrupt exit from SNL, country singer Morgan Wallen posted what 5-word phrase?
Something about going back to God's
country. Take me back to God's country.
Get me back to God's country.
Yeah, it was the get.
Very, very good, you guys. All right, skipping ahead now to May. Pope Leo became the first fan of what MLB team?
White Sox.
The White Sox, that's correct. All right, now in June, K-pop Demon Hunters premiered and broke several records, including sending what song to #1
Golden.
Billboard charts? Golden. Yes.
It's like
all right.
Whit's favorite.
Yeah.
Could have been Takedown, maybe Takedown, maybe.
All right, in August, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce announced their engagement in a joint post declaring which 2 high school staff members were getting married.
Your gym teacher and English teacher.
Very good, Janae.
Okay.
Yes. All right, in October, after the Louvre heist occurred, it was revealed that the password to the surveillance system was what?
Louvre.
Yes, a point for everybody. Yeah. And in December, defined as online content deliberately designed to elicit anger.
Rage
Oxford
bait.
Word of the year is rage bait,
Oh.
yes. Which actually, when Gio talks about his Amazon purchases and returns, that's rage bait, people.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's a good one. Good job, you guys.
Yeah, not bad. Did we get them all?
I think you did, yeah.
All right.
Well done.
That was good. All right.
Thank you,
be right
Will.
back.
Yeah. Rage bait.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour, slammed with snow. With the Northeast waking up to its biggest snowfall of the season. States of emergency declared in New York and New Jersey. Thousands of flights delayed or canceled on one of the busiest travel weekends of the year.
This is wild. This is no Christmas miracle.
Plus in the West, up to 5 feet of snow in the Sierras, while that atmospheric river causes massive mudslides, homes and cars buried. Our weather team with what's next to come.
Swiping right on Community, the new app inspired by dating apps, fostering connection in the cancer community.
It just reminds you that you are a person.
The health benefits.
It also literally reduces anxiety scores.
And bringing back the buddy system.
Binge this from what you might have missed.
Was Elaine written as a man? At first, that character.
What's hot right now.
I don't think you understand the stakes here.
The best things to watch this week.
You ain't never had a friend like.
And experiencing the magic of Aladdin on Broadway. The fans who grew up watching the Disney classic now introducing the show to the next generation.
See Aladdin on Broadway.
Working with the cast to make their wish come true, showing them they've never had a friend like this, as we say.
Good morning, America!
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Saturday. Good Morning America.
certainly is Saturday. Good morning, America. Coming up, New Year's resolutions for pet lovers. You bet. Veterinarian Adam Christman is here with Dash to tell us all about how to give our furry friends some extra love in 26.
Yep, very, very important stuff. Plus, a look at the ABC Primetime Special, The Year, as we look back at all of the new stars of entertainment who emerged in 2025.
All right, but we do begin with those coast-to-coast storms and what they could mean for your holiday flight or your drive home. We have team coverage this morning, and ABC's Morgan Norwood starts us off with some intense winter weather. Good morning, Morgan.
Gio, good morning. Intense indeed. The snow still coming down, and you can see several inches of snow piling up on these park benches right behind me. What's interesting about this particular mix, you've got that sleet also layered in, and that's what makes this especially dangerous, which is why we've heard officials warn and urge people, if you don't have to be out and about in this, simply stay home. Overnight, that powerful winter storm lashing the Northeast with layers of heavy snow and ice. In western New York, snow stacking up on roads, blinding snow falling on Interstate 684 through Bedford, driving treacherous. And on Long Island, this heavy snow blanketing northern Nassau County. Philadelphia highways turning to slush, several crashes reported as conditions worsen. And in New Jersey, icicles forming beneath cars. Both New Jersey and New York declaring states of emergency. The state of New York unleashing an army of more than 1,600 plow and salt trucks, now racing to clear snow-covered streets. In the Midwest, drenching rain in Detroit. And in Saginaw County, Michigan, icy conditions forcing the Zilwaukee Bridge to shut down. Watch as plows carefully to glaze the road after multiple crashes. This truck stuck for 5 hours. Out west, a very different threat. In the past week, an atmospheric river dumping relentless rain across Southern California, washing away roads and stranding drivers. LA County Fire says more than 100 people were pulled from flooded vehicles on Christmas Day alone. In north of Los Angeles and Wrightwood, mudslides swallowing cars and pressing against homes. Families sifting through mud and debris, many left without power and turning to local hardware stores for generators, firewood, and supplies.
Anything weather related, that's what they're coming in for, and we're here to provide that for them today.
And in nearby Lytle Creek, entire neighborhoods cut off, a bridge buckling under the force of raging floodwaters. In the Sierras, up to 5 feet of snow in the mountains. And in Nevada, the Mount Rose Highway reopening after crews worked around the clock to clear snow and ice from the road. And thankfully, so far, power outages here in the Northeast have been especially limited. Can't say the same for the Midwest. In Michigan, we're tracking about 30,000 power outages. Of course, crews there racing to get the lights back on. But again, the snow is still falling, and we could feel these conditions for hours and even days to come. Janae?
All right, we'll be watching that, Morgan. Thank you. And the travel picture is shaping up to be a dicey one as people head home from the holidays or head out to be in place somewhere for New Year's. ABC's Olivia Rubin is at New York's LaGuardia Airport with more. Good morning to you, Olivia.
Janae, good morning. Dicey indeed. Cancellations, delays, and icy roads are the name of the game this weekend. And the big worry as millions start to head home for Christmas. Already over 600 flights canceled nationwide today. That number only growing. Airlines, including JetBlue and Delta, are seeing some of the biggest impacts. And right here at LaGuardia, hit particularly hard. Over 20% of all departing flights canceled. Of course, it comes right in the middle of the holiday travel season. TSA is expecting to screen 45 million people, and on the roads, icy conditions, crews out in force working to clean it up. And experts say if you do plan to hit the roads today, the best time to do it is before 11 a.m. The message, don't wait and drive safe. And if you do have to come to the airport, as you always say, Gio, download the app so you can check your flight before, and hopefully you don't get stuck sitting around at the airport. Maybe you could even get in a little bit of extra vacation with.
Yeah, absolutely. Important information there. Olivia, thanks so much. And the worst of the snow appears to be over for now, at least in the New York City area. Let's get an update from meteorologist Leslie Lopez from our Los Angeles station KABC, joining us with the latest.
Look, I know some people think this is going to be like a nice little magical tree. Others, I mean, they're digging out of the snow, so it really depends upon where you are. And right now, I do have updated snow totals for you, and we are looking like we had 11.5 inches of snowfall into Hartwick, New York. I mean, that's just a ton of snow that they're having to dig out of now. Islip, New York, 6.5. We're a little little over that, and then 4.25 through New York City. So that's pretty incredible as well. As we're moving you through, we're also noticing that we do have some icy conditions setting up. So around the nation, but also up towards the northeast, we are looking at 28 degrees as today's afternoon high in Boston, 32 into New York City. So that's the afternoon high. Tomorrow morning, the temperatures stay cold, and now we're talking about it being a pretty dangerous drive. Refreeze, very possible. If you're from D.C. traveling on the I-95 all the way upward towards the northeast, you're looking at troubles on the roadways, icy, slick conditions. And for the rest of the nation, we have some more wet weather coming in, but that doesn't come in till we get into, it looks like Sunday, and it looks like it's going to be another wet one with an icy mix out there too. All right, we'll send it back over your way. Gio.
Yeah, be very careful on the road. Take it slow because of all that black ice. Leslie, thank you so much. All right, it's been just over 2 months since 9-year-old Melody Buzzard's disappearance made national headlines. Melody's mother, Ashley Buzzard, appeared in court pleading not guilty to a first-degree murder charge. Authorities say she shot Melody multiple times in the head with a 9mm handgun. The girl's decomposed body was found in Utah earlier this month. Authorities believe Melody was killed on a road trip that she took with her mom from their home in California back in October. Janae.
Awful story. All right, another sleepless night for people across Ukraine, with Russia launching a major attack overnight. It comes ahead of what could very much be a key moment in the effort to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's President Zelensky says he will meet tomorrow with President Trump in Florida. President Zelensky is bringing with him a 20-point plan for peace with Russia. President Trump has not commented on that proposal, but he told Politico that Zelensky, quote, doesn't have anything until I approve it. President Zelensky says a phone conversation on Christmas Day with Jared Kushner and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff was productive, but he says Ukraine has not received any formal response from Russia on the latest proposal.
All right, coming up here at our GMA Morning Menu, Swiping Right for the Community, the new app connecting people who are navigating a cancer diagnosis.
Also ahead, they're anything but ordinary. We take a look back at the breakout stars of 2025.
And we're getting cozy with what to binge over winter break. That's coming up when we're back. Back now with our GMA cover story, cancer diagnoses. They're on the rise in younger people, and Morgan Norwood has a story of how a dating app inspired a new way for thrivers to find community.
Devin Minna was 28 years old when she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
The doctors were starting to share more information about next steps, and I had to cut them off at one point and say, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. I can barely breathe. I have to call my mom, who's a 3-time survivor.
During treatment, Devin says she found it difficult to reach out to family for emotional support.
My dad, I get almost the most emotional thinking about him because he saw my mom go through it 3 times and then he had to watch me go through it. But if he called and asked how I was doing, if I actually told him how I was doing, it would have broken his heart.
So she turned to a support group at her cancer center.
It was specifically for people my age. And I was the only one that showed up for several weeks in a row. It didn't help in making me not feel alone.
But then she came across Cancer Buddy creator Christina Merrill, who says the platform was inspired by dating apps.
I was swiping and saw this incredible platform and technology of being able to match with somebody that had your interests and likes and geographical location. And I thought, how come this is not in the cancer community?
What I like about it is that it humanizes the person using it. It does include your interests, your age group, things outside of just the cancer. And I have formed some really good friendships with people that we could have been friends even without the cancer.
Experts say online resources like Cancer Buddy, Belong.life, Cancer.net Mobile, and others can contribute to better health outcomes.
It does reduce the sense of loneliness, sense of isolation, and it also literally reduces anxiety scores, depression scores as well, and a lot of the fear that goes along with the cancer diagnosis and treatment.
And Devin says the connections she's made through the app provided a community and offered her a sense of normalcy.
I also have a friend on there who she and I, we don't even really talk about cancer stuff. We mostly send each other memes. You really feel like a lab rat when you're going through it. So talking to other people as a person, not a patient, reminds you that you are a person.
For Good Morning America, Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
A really great story. Our thanks to Morgan for that.
We're obsessed with this dog in the studio here. We're counting down to the new year, and while you're making resolutions for yourself, you might want to think about leveling up your pet care as well. Our favorite veterinarian, Adam Chrisman, is here with some tips for pet lovers, and our friend Dash is helping out as well. Hi, Dash. Dash the corgi.
He's the best. Love him.
So Dash is gonna show us some things in just a bit, but I know that like some people have New Year's resolutions to like trim down a little bit, slim down, and you say for the dog that's something to consider as well.
Absolutely. 51% of our pets in the United States are overweight or obese.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, easy things to do is just measure their food, level their food, and you have these other great things that you could do too. You have string greens and you have carrot sticks that you can use. 10% of their treats should be included in terms of their total caloric density.
And they like that because I never see pet owners.
They do. They love it, actually. A little bit of blueberries as well. There's a lot of pet-friendly, safe human treats that we can give them as well, but we really want to make sure we keep them lean. We know obesity can lead to heart disease, osteoarthritis, the list goes on.
Okay, and so you're going to show us using adorable Dash here how to do what's called a ribs to waist assessment for obesity.
Ribs to waist, also known as the body condition score, and all of you out there could do this on your dogs. You should be able to look over them, and we scale them on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being obese, 3 being fit and fabulous. So you should be able to look over Dash, and as you can see, if I can get him to stand up and show you.
All right, Dash,
he has, there we go. I have a very low calorie treat for him. But you should be able to feel his ribs and see him, see the ribs. So see how they go in, see how his waistline goes in. So looking over him, you can see that, and underneath he has what's called an abdominal tuck. So that is a body condition score of a 3. He's fit and fabulous. 4 is a little bit thicker. 5 is when they kind of look like an ottoman. They're actually like really obese, and they just can't move their joints, and it's really horrible. But it is treatable and it's manageable.
So Dash is fit and fabulous.
He is fit and fabulous, ready to start 2026. Absolutely.
What about mental fitness for dogs?
So mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness. A tired dog is a happy dog. And so Dash, for instance, loves to play the piano. I don't know if he'll do it for you, but
I have to see this to believe it.
Treats coming out. So he will usually tap the piano and touch and see. This is part is working his brain. So you could do puzzle feeders, puzzle, all different types of puzzle bowls. I even have.
There he is.
Look.
Oh my gosh, he did it!
He did it. Good job.
Come on, give it another.
Future Mozart.
There we go.
There he is.
That is so sweet.
I did the muffin tin game that you can see over there. There's a lot of indoor activities that you can do for your pets to keep them mentally stimulated.
I love that. What about high-tech gadgets? They're kind of a new thing for pets in 2026.
2026, you're going to see a lot more of that. In fact, Dash is wearing one right now, and this is a pet activity monitoring system. It's going to actually measure how many steps and calories that he can burn, and also gives like heart rate activity.
Like a wearable.
It's absolutely wearable. They even have it for feeding systems now too, and treat dispensers, especially when they go over to grandma and grandpa's, as you know. They love to give a little extra something, but if we can control that, keep them nice and lean, it goes a long, long way.
And you suggest even scheduling the annual checkups for January.
Yeah, forward book those checkups just like us. We want to make sure we keep them nice and lean and have good longevity. At least once a year checkups, preferably twice a year. Our pets age faster than us, so we want to be more proactive than reactive on their personal care. It's so important. So we want them living longer, not larger.
There we go. Longer, not larger. Love it. Dash is like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this little device. Come on.
Can we do one more? You touch?
Gio's a piano player too, although the world would never know.
Come on, Dash. Tickle the ivories for us.
There you go.
Go ahead. You can do it, Gio. You can do it, Gio.
All right. Well, thank you, Dash. And thank you, Dr. Adam Chrisman. As always, we appreciate it.
There we go.
Got to get the pets healthy. There we go. Here it comes. You got it. There. Oh, this is a lovely little tune.
So cute.
This is so cute.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, and now with winter break in full swing for many, people are looking for things to cozy up and watch, and Will Gans is helping us kick off the weekend with a special edition of Binge This. You got some tunes here from Dad.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Yes, let's get into it before anyone describes my body type as looking like an ottoman, you guys. All right, let's start with some things that might have flown under the radar this year. If you're still hanging out with your family this holiday weekend, may I recommend Merchants of Joy. This is a documentary about the 5 families who are responsible for sourcing and selling Christmas trees on the streets of New York City every holiday season. These families blend street smarts and Christmas spirit, and the documentary, surprisingly funny and actually very touching. Merchants of Joy, streaming right now on Amazon Prime Video. And then as we head into award season, Good Hang with Amy Poehler is nominated for the first ever Best Podcast Award at the Golden Globes. The show, which you can watch like a talk show or listen to like a traditional podcast, features interviews with celebrity guests like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Tina Fey, and Aubrey Plaza. It's hilarious, heartfelt, and each episode also begins with an additional celebrity guest talking well behind the main guest's back. You can stream full episodes on Spotify or YouTube right now.
And you also mentioned award season. What movies should we watch if we're counting down to Oscar Sunday?
All right, One Battle After Another is the most nominated movie of the year at the Golden Globes. It stars Leo DiCaprio as a revolutionary with a history of fighting an oppressive fascist government. And when the bad guy, played deliciously by Sean Penn, kidnaps Leo's daughter, he goes all out to get her back. But get this, it's nominated in the comedy category at the Globes because it's actually pretty hilarious. Do not watch this movie with kids, but everyone else in the family should like it. One Battle After Another, streaming now on HBO Max. And then there's Sinners. This is the fan favorite hit from director Ryan Coogler, starring not one but 2 Michael B. Jordans as twins opening up a juke joint in the Jim Crow South. It's a pitch-perfect musical masterpiece until vampires show up and lay siege to the juke joint. Sinners is currently #1 as the favorite to pick up a Best Picture Oscar nomination, according to Gold Derby, and it is streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh my gosh, if that wins the Oscar, yes, that would be great. Okay, and what about the hottest picks this weekend, Will?
All right, so if we're talking this weekend right now, let's start with Marty Supreme. Timmy Chalamet stars as a 1950s ping pong prodigy in this sports drama from director Josh Safdie, who also directed Uncut Gems, if you remember that movie. And like that movie, Marty Supreme has that chaotic, fast pacing and an incredible performance from its leading actor. It's rated R with a runtime of 2.5 hours, but it goes by very, very quickly. You can watch Marty Supreme in theaters right now. And finally, this is the last time I'll get to tell you guys to watch Stranger Things because there's only 1 episode left this season, which premiered the week of Thanksgiving. It marked the biggest English language series debut in Netflix history, and it beat its own previous record of minutes streamed in a single week by over 1 billion minutes with a B. The final episode hits movie theaters and drops on Netflix at 8 p.m. Eastern on New Year's Eve. Whit, I know you had a full-blown binge session.
I think we both finished it yesterday, right?
Once they came out that night, stayed up till 1 in the morning, binging the whole thing.
And you got to do it.
So
loved
good.
it. Loved it.
Yeah, my kids kind of forced me. But
they did.
I went along too. Thank you, Will, for that. Coming up, our look back at the performers who made their mark in 2025.
And we are back now with Alex Warren's song Ordinary, which was a smash hit this year. So many listened to it, saturating social media, surpassing 2 billion streams on Spotify. The song put the 25-year-old on the map, and coming up, we're going to hear more about his story as we look back at the breakout stars of 2025.
Such a good song.
Yeah, that song
really
is everywhere. All right, we're going to take a look at some of the other top headlines that we're following right now. A meth bust near Louisville, Kentucky, with police saying 55 pounds of the drugs were wrapped up to look like Christmas presents. The discovery made by a drug-sniffing dog. A 23-year-old man was arrested and faces first-degree trafficking charges.
The National Retail Federation predicts that around 17% of all gifts will be returned this holiday season. For Geo, it's 98%. If you need to return a gift, be mindful that many
funny
stores...
it's true.
Yes, exactly. Many stores are now charging, though, a return or restocking fee for items if you send them back, so be aware of that.
Yeah, and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced on Instagram that she is pregnant with her second child. She says that she is due in May and excited to be a girl mom. Congratulations to her.
All right, now to a preview of the ABC Primetime Special of the Year, the breakout stars from this year in movies, TV, and music. We may not have known them when the year started, but now they are household names. Michael Strahan has the story.
The winners, Robert and Whitney!
It seems like God spent a little extra time on Robert Irwin.
I am in agreement with the world that he's the cutest thing alive.
22-year-old Ozzy Robert Irwin became the heartthrob everyone was rooting for on this year's resurgent season of Dancing with the Stars.
To see him grow through the season, to watch his not only entertainment, but his ability to bring a story to America, goodbye.
A journey years in the making after watching his sister Bendy take home the Mirrorball trophy 10 years ago.
One of the big questions we get in from all the fans out there is, look, would Robert ever consider doing Dancing with the Stars as a dancer?
Yeah.
Would you, as a celebrity, would you do it?
Definitely, I would love to.
Can you imagine how good this would be?
so much fun.
Right?
Dancing the Salsa. With his partner Whitney Carson, it's Robert Irwin.
10 years on, the feeling of entering the Dancing with the Stars studio is just as awe-inspiring, because it's not just a dancing show. It's about unifying people.
My sister said it best. Thank you for changing my life.
Your Honor.
You're late.
I know, I'm sorry. I was on tour. It was in Europe. Okay?
For Alex Warren, 2025 was anything but ordinary.
You're taking me out of the ordinary.
I met my wife when I was 18 years old. Ordinary is a song about how everything that I've found with her is not ordinary.
Alex is a buddy of ours now. He's probably one of the funniest people that I've met, and he's super talented. We just had him out at a show.
But before collaborating with some of the biggest names in the biz, Alex was a popular TikToker who was always flexing his singing muscle.
I think my dad would have been proud for me for chasing the dream that he wanted us to have.
The best new artist nominees are...
It doesn't feel real. Like last year, yesterday, I wrote Ordinary. It's crazy how quickly things changed.
I'm Sammy Moore. I'm a sharecropper from Sunflower Plantation. I always dreamed of just being a artist, like just touring, being a musician, performing in front of stages.
After getting a taste of the tour life with the artist Her, Miles Caton got his big on-screen break when he landed a role in one of the biggest movies of the year, Sinners.
The most challenging part was definitely the emotional range of the film.
And a few weeks after filming wrapped, Miles found himself receiving a once-in-a-lifetime offer from the movie's composer.
He was like, "We want you to come back to help us write the end credit song." I was like, "Bruh, it just keeps getting better."
And even better, Miles earned his very first Grammy nomination as a writer on the soundtrack.
It's mind-blowing. Like, that's been a long dream of mine, for sure, a long-time dream, so it's wild.
And finally, to Owen Cooper, the youngest breakout of the bunch, who just may pack the biggest punch.
Okay. Hey! Jamie Miller. What's going on? The time is 6:15 a.m. and I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Adolescence was brilliant. It was gut-wrenching. It was heartbreaking. But this young actor was unbelievable.
You all right? You look a bit red. Did I scare you when I shouted?
At just 15 years old, Owen Cooper achieved something no one his age has.
The Emmy goes to Owen Cooper. I love him.
Becoming the youngest actor ever to win an Emmy.
Tonight proves that if you listen and you focus and you step out your comfort zone, you can achieve anything in life. And I hope you all have an amazing night and good night.
And a good speech, too.
So good. I mean, he was so spectacular when you remember that each episode was shot
in that single
in one
shot,
take.
right? Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I can't imagine how hard that must have been for actors, especially a very young one.
Between him, Miles Canton,
So
oh my gosh, the song Ordinary,
Yeah,
all
the
of them.
breakout stars of the year. Really good stuff. Also, there's much more you can see on that because it's all part of the memorable moments of 2025 when Robin Roberts anchors the 15th annual primetime special, The Year, and you can see it on Monday, December 29th at 8 Eastern right here on ABC.
Looking forward to that. Still coming up here on GMA, sharing the magic of Aladdin on Broadway. Super fans getting their wish granted and a whole lot more.
And we are back now with Aladdin on Broadway. I feel like Good Morning Agrabah now.
Yep.
This is sort of changed here. 11 years after the hit show debuted, fans who grew up watching the Disney classic, they're introducing the next generation to the genie and his lamp. When the show's cast members heard about one family of Aladdin fans, they helped the parents surprise their kids with tickets to see the show. But that wasn't the only wish they were granted that day. Take a look. Ed and Danielle Geiger are both lifelong Disney devotees, passing down their love of Disney to their kids. Daughter Jordan and son Landon quickly becoming fans themselves, especially of Disney's Aladdin.
We're out of here!
So when Aladdin on Broadway heard the Geigers wanted to surprise their two kids with tickets, the show's cast decided to make the experience extra special for them. The Geiger family hopped on the train from Long Island, unaware of all the surprises that were in store. Aladdin cast member Marcus M. Martin jumped at the chance to join in.
All right, they're right there. They have no idea the day that they are in store for. Hi, how are you? Would you like to make a wish on the Genie's Land? Yeah, all of you. Come on. And just let me know what you want to wish for.
We wish to see Aladdin on Broadway.
You wish to see Aladdin on Broadway.
Wish to see Aladdin on
All right,
Broadway?
okay, we might be able to do something. Come on, follow me. Turn around. You all are going to see the matinee performance of Aladdin on Broadway today. Are you excited? Everybody, the Geiger family is going to see Aladdin!
First, the show wanted to give the Geigers a glimpse of what it's like to perform Aladdin on Broadway. For this assignment, the show brought in Lauren Chapman.
Let me see it in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, you look great! More often than not. Look at you, Rockets. Mustache, platter, mustache, platter. Yes. Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. Great job. Give yourselves a round of applause. 1, 2, 3. Aladdin!
Then it was time to take their seats to watch the real performers take the stage.
Mr. Aladdin, sir, have a wish or two or three. Humble the job, you picnic pop, you ain't never had a fair life.
Sad and confined, and always locked behind me.
The Geigers got to get a special view of the curtain call.
We have a very special group, a family of Aladdin super fans, Disney super fans. Give them a big old round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Geiger family!
You are awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And Jordan's big dream came true, meeting Jasmine.
I've always just loved this movie, and I just love Jasmine and Aladdin, just all of it. She saw someone on the screen that looks like her.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
No, I love you too.
Marcus gives the Geigers a backstage tour.
Some of the gold canes during Friend Like Me. Come on. Never had a friend. Hey, there we go. Come on. The magic box that Aladdin disappears in.
That looks real, right?
I know, right? Real. Some of our lovely ladies in honorable wear. Oh, this is the staff our Jafar uses.
There's time for one last magical moment.
I heard that y'all learned some steps. A couple steps from the show this morning. How many times do you get to dance on a Broadway stage? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it's such a fun show. And you can experience Aladdin on Broadway now at the New Amsterdam Theater here in New York.
Yep. Back on GMA with an interesting story about human connection. One man forging a unique way to connect with others. Will Gand has this story.
Yes. So Hunter Prosper has racked up more than 6.5 million followers on TikTok for his innate ability to get strangers to open up, whether they're strolling through the park, walking to work, or enjoying a day on the beach. It all starts when the ICU nurse asks the questions whose answers celebrate our shared humanity. Take a look.
If you ask Hunter Prosper, the key to human connection is asking the right questions.
What did you learn from your first heartbreak?
What is the worst pain you felt that wasn't physical? Is there something you can't stop thinking about?
They're the conversation starters he's used with strangers to go deep.
What's the most painful thing you've been told? I don't want you, by my father. Who was your greatest love, and why did you fall in love with them?
It was my wife, Madeline. We were married for 53 years before she passed.
His Stories from a Stranger series racking up nearly 250 million likes on TikTok.
It was more of a selfish endeavor because I wanted to reclaim what I knew I loved to do, which was listen to people's stories. And then I realized whenever I asked these people, they started getting a sense of therapy as well.
Hunter striking up a conversation with passersby on the street, simply asking, "Do you mind if I ask you some questions?" 9 times out of 10, they say yes, bearing their souls to a total stranger. Like Katie, who talked about losing her brother.
Is there somebody you still think about?
I'm gonna start crying. That would be my brother Drew. You couldn't be mad at him like the second he smiled, you know what I mean? Oh my God. I miss him so much.
It was very like therapeutic. I realized I never really spent the time to talk to someone about it. You know what I mean? That's something that a lot of times people glaze over and continue to live their life. And yeah, it was more therapeutic than I was expecting.
She chalks it up to Hunter's ability to simply listen.
And he'll really sit with you in that pain. And I feel like a lot of people get uncomfortable with that because they don't know how to solve the problem, or they start to compare it to something that they're going through. And he doesn't do that. He genuinely just listens.
Hunter says these conversations often last 2 or 3 hours. Then he distills them down to their most poignant moments.
The psychiatrist gave me some of the best advice I ever got. I had every right to go insane. Just come back.
Sort of, you have to lose yourself to find yourself.
Yeah.
And while that online community of 6.6 million followers is virtual...
Who's your greatest love, and why did you fall in love with them?
I'm just gonna cry immediately.
The humanity and emotion in each story is very real.
Everyone has a story, and we're all connected by our emotions.
And Stories from a Stranger, the book, is available now wherever books are sold.
How special. So
Powerful. By our emotions.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
And the way the woman described it, he just sits there and genuinely listens.
Yeah.
You know, so often people are looking for someone to just listen to their story. So thank you for bringing that to us, Will. And thank you so much for starting your day with us. Before we go, now streaming on Hulu, the 2020 true crime event, The Last Strike. It's a possible love triangle, a possible murder, and possible arson. As police search for a killer after a house fire, shocking security camera footage helps put them on track, and ABC News correspondent John Quinones has an exclusive jailhouse interview with a woman at the center of it all. Check it out on Hulu and Disney Plus this weekend.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.